Good evening and welcome to Metro Focus. I'm Jenna Flanagan. The L train is shutting down 1 year from now for 15 months. And the 220,000 riders who rely on the L are understandably up in arms. They're going to have to find new ways to get around, and it's going to have a domino effect on strap hangers already riding shoulder to shoulder and back to back every morning and every night. But before the construction crews roll in, the city has to square up with over a dozen community groups in federal court. So joining us with all the details is WPIX reporter who's been covering the story, Greg Mocker.
Hi, Jenna.
Hi, Greg. Welcome back to the program.
Glad to be here.
So first, update us on what is happening with the L train. Why?
Well, it was damaged in Hurricane Sandy, which was in 2012. And that's the first question everybody asked me. Well, if it was damaged in 2012, why have we been using it for now going on 5 years? They've been doing maintenance all the time in there, and they say this is the project that they have to get to now. They also got about $5 billion from the federal government in Sandy funds that need to be spent on projects, and the L train one was on the list, and they have $400 million dedicated to that particular project. So they need to do it. It needs the work. That's what they tell us.
All right, but we're talking about, what is it, almost 250,000 people who are going to be. What happened?
Yeah, and plus, like, the people that are coming in from Rockaway Parkway or from Canarsie that are going to have to switch now to a bus or a bike or walk or take a hang glider across the East River, which that one.
I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny because,
it's not, because it's going to add, I mean, seriously, 30, 40 minutes maybe, and that's best case scenario. The city has modeled traffic flow. They're still putting up the times for some dedicated bus lanes across the Williamsburg Bridge, some HOV lanes. They're just fine-tuning the time on that. And the Department of Transportation Commissioner for the city, Polly Trottenberg, has been really forthcoming, I think, saying that this is not going to be easy. And it's going to take some patience. We're going to get it done. We're going to be flexible with the plan. We're looking at everything. But yes.
All right.
Inconvenienced.
Incredibly inconvenienced. And that's, of course, for people who are already feeling very inconvenienced by the MTA, which brings us to the lawsuits. Tell me about what's happening.
There's a group of neighbors, and rightly so, because everybody has to be involved in this. And maybe that's part of the problem. That for years, it was the MTA, the city made decisions. At least that's moved forward. There's a group of neighbors along 14th Street in Manhattan that have filed a federal lawsuit, along with some other groups and some disability advocates, saying that the work should include more accessibility at all the stations that are closed, which include from Bedford Avenue in Brooklyn to 8th Avenue in Manhattan. It's not running in Manhattan at all, let alone, between the two boroughs.
When you say accessibility, just to be clear.
Yeah, elevators or escalators, that it should be, not just remodeled in a way, some infrastructure things, but add an accessibility thing. So that's a component of their lawsuit. But they're also saying that the city and the MTA should have done an environmental impact statement to look at the effect of the fumes, of cars idling, of the potential for traffic and pedestrian and bicyclist interaction. The city would say that maybe isn't required because it's a temporary thing. That's not the project. They usually study things based on the, what impact the work is going to have or the final project is going to have. But that's going to be something for the court to decide to look at and just review. Could this be put on hold because the city needs to do that statement, because they need to address accessibility? It seems to me that they're probably going to be able to work this out somehow. Stopping this project, that is not something.
That seems like this is something else that's got to be addressed.
Yes, and they'll find a way to do that. I'm not hearing any chatter about being able to, or what's the contingency plan for not doing this. They have been planning it it's been 2.5 years. I've been talking about it for 2 years. Time flies. I thought it was such a long time ago, but now it's certainly in the mirror in our sights. But it's something that I think they'll address. The court will.
Okay. Well, if we can move away from the MTA, at least the subway system in the city, and focus on some of the other commuting means of getting into the city, and that's the LIRR. There's news on that front.
The LIRR president, Pat Nowakowski, has decided to step down. He's been there for 4 years, kind of an engineering, behind-the-scenes kind of guy, longtime railroad guy around the country. he's decided to let some new leadership in. And that's something that I hear often when I go to the MTA meetings. There's been a rearrangement of senior staff, new people brought on, some other transit people from other agencies. We have a new MTA New York City Transit president who has said accessibility and buses and trains, he's going to ride them. And paratransit are his priorities, customer service. I think it's part of a new approach, and it's a long time coming, and we certainly need that.
Well, yes, and we have, of course, delays on the LIRR is something that we're constantly
that's
hearing
part
about.
of the reason too, and we're tired of that. And the people upstairs need to be getting that message. I think they are. I'll keep shouting it.
Well, so just one last thing on this change in leadership. Is this a matter of rearranging people who are in charge, or could there possibly be a chance of bringing in somebody with new leadership?
They've been inclined to do that. The guy that's at MTA New York City Transit is Andy Byford. He came from Toronto. He has experience running the Sydney Australia thing. He's originally from the London Underground. So there is that idea of bringing in some new people. And I think they get new people, and then maybe they can have meetings with leadership, maybe in Albany, maybe at City Hall, and they will have a different voice and can kind of say in those behind closed doors meetings, let's get this done. Here's why. How can we do this?
Well, yes, and of course, every time we bring in people from other cities, New York is an entirely different animal, so
yeah,
we'll see
give
how it
a little
works.
bit of a hard time, but step up.
All right, well, listen, thank you so much for joining us on the program and helping us understand what's going on with the different transit projects in the city.
Certainly, Jen.